Good.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be back here talking League of Ireland with my good friend Cornell. I was away last week. I've been traveling, but yeah, let's get back to the action. There's a lot to be said. I haven't followed much, but I'm sure Cornell can provide a lot of insights on League of Ireland because it's always enthusiastic. So, guys, if you want to be part of the conversation, use the chat box. If you know someone who's into this, please share. And if you want to be aware of the upcoming episode, just make sure to press the bell button. Before we get into the topics, Cornell, how are you doing so far
I'm
today?
very well, thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Oh, good. Just enjoying some time here in Portugal, enjoying some sunshine is necessary. Spring is in the air, but I look forward to see what's the story with the League of Ireland. I haven't been paying a lot of attention because there's so much in my plate. So let's go game by game. I can see there was a goalless draw between Waterford and Sligo. How did you see this result?
I think this game was written on a piece of paper. Obviously, Sligo Rovers obviously haven't really been in the best of form, but they have shown how brilliant of an underdog team that they can be this year. Especially when you've got informed players like Kiki, who's also been really good this last season, and obviously he's
It's okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm just got the job done. Yeah, I'm here.
yeah, yeah, that's okay. Um, Despite that, Kiki's been in very good form this season, last season, and obviously wants to copy that from in bringing into this season. Waterford, I mean, a very valuable point. Obviously, I mean, despite that, Waterford have their brand new manager now, and honestly, I think they've made some decent, good signings. Obviously, throughout the transfer winter deadline day, which just passed yesterday, and things like that. But I think a draw was basically written all over it. But I think it's the lack of chances. I think that was in this game, really, to be honest.
Yeah, there was another draw in Dublin between Shells and Galway. I'd say, surprised, given that Galway is not the team that is, let's say, on the spot when it comes to performance and results. But I think 1 point it's very vital for their aspirations in the current season.
Yeah, the same thing I said about Sligo Rovers and Waterford. I think Shells are starting to show their quality as well. I mean, especially when you got Meepo in there as well. Harry Wood is absolutely killing it right now on the goals right now. Um, I think Galway United, despite that, I said that I think they'll go down this year. I mean, I know they've just bought Pyro, who used to play for Drogda, last season, and obviously I think that's a big kick in the teeth to Drogda. But I think at least Galway United have replaced Shaw, Moses Dyer in their team. I don't think Shaw in their team is that good enough, really, to be honest. But yeah, I think a draw was the very valuable result because Galway United haven't really been at their best since the start of the season. Shells obviously is still trying to get used to the certain new arrivals that have been added into their team. So I think Shells really are showing how quality and how class they can be of a team.
Great. Now, this was a result that for me was nowhere in the expectations. Because Derry, they are seen as favorites or contenders, and both they are still perceived as underdogs. So I think there are massive 3 points for both
Mm.
when they
Yeah,
beat Derry 1-0. Yeah. So
yeah. Um, Honestly, what a game this was. I mean, Bowes versus Derry. I mean, we're talking about Derry City who galvanized their squad and bought so many players. Um, Honestly, I thought Bowes was just fantastic. Dawson Devoy, what a player he is. The quality and the ability that he shows. I mean, from coming from the EFL, not really getting into the MK Don squad, and now to be in the League of Ireland team like Bowles, and to play that best attacking football, link up with the likes of Del Rooney. And obviously I think the kick in the teeth was losing James Clark, obviously playing, who's now gone at Derry now. And I did worry how they would replace him, but Harry Vaughan has really kicked in very, very well with the likes of Tierney and Devoy, and it's really, really working for them, and I like the way they played today. They played, honestly, I thought they were really, really good. Derry on the other side, this is the thing about Derry. Look, I know Derry wants to compete with Shamrock Rovers. They want to be favourites. I mean, I consider them as favourites on the way that they built the team, but I think people's been more talking about, is James McLean the answer in Derry City's midfield? Is he playing in midfield not really working? So it's the same thing. It's like to say that the players are not bonding together, because it's all right spending the money and spending God knows how much money on certain players, but it's about the players gelling. If the players are not gelling, then there's a problem with the team. Lynch is, look, I really rate T and Lynch. I think he's a very good manager. I think he's got Derry playing the best football that he can. I mean, look, he's bought players like Markey and their Slevin, and the whole list goes on. But it's about the players gelling. If they can't gel, then there's a very, very serious problem in this Derry team. And if they don't fix it, and they don't fix that serious problem that is going on now, then it could be problems for Derry. But look, Bowls were the better team, and Derry know that. Derry were absolutely outsmarted and outclassed by Bowls. And I think if Bowls really carry on playing like how they played against Derry, I think that Bowls, I think, could be serious underdog contenders for the League of Ireland title, because it's a twist and turn.
Yeah, very interesting to see what's ahead of for both. There was a Dublin derby between Shamrock Rovers and Pats, and I was hoping that Pats would be able to show some of their charm, but that didn't seem to be the case since Rovers collected 3 points with apparently an easy victory, 2-0.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant result for Shamrock Rovers against St. Pat's. I didn't expect St. Pat's to show up and show their quality, but we didn't really get to see that. Obviously they've added James Brown to their team now, on deadline day. Shamrock Rovers, who haven't really kicked a ball really because of the poor rainy weather, hasn't really helped, and has postponed two of their games. And look, I think Shamrock Rovers prove once and for all why they are the champions and why they were champions last season. Adam Brennan to make his debut, outstanding, brilliant for him to get his first goal. Michael Noonan doing what he always does, and why the reason why clubs are after him and why they're attracted to him, and teams in the Premier League as well, like Man United and so on, are also after him. But look, I think Shamrock Rovers showed their class and showed their quality, and I feel like I think there's more to come from them. I think if they can carry on playing the way they're playing, I think they can probably go on and retain the title. But it's still early days because the season is already started. So that, as I said earlier on, I think there's some real twists and turns at this present moment.
Yeah, and there was another draw between two underdogs. Droch the one, or Dundalk one, since they play at home. Dundalk one, Droch the one. Were you expecting this draw, given the teams are more or less at the same level, or were there any favorite in your estimation before the game?
I think there was favoritism in this game, Victor. I think Drogba were favourites in this game. Dundalk have been playing some good football, since being promoted from the first division back to the Premier Division. I think Drogba were obviously feeling that they could go on and win this game, but look, I think a draw was a good enough draw. Massive Louth derby. Even though, yes, I know Drogba's in serious hot water, especially with throwing flares on Dundalk's new pitch, which I think is out of order and could face consequences for that. But the game itself, I think, was a very good. Not both teams not to be underestimated, but it was a sophisticated game that both teams were looking to get 3 points. But look, I think a draw was the very valuable point. I think Dundalk put up a good fight, which they did, but Drogheda always shows that they never back down from being a goal down or 2 goals down. They'll always give you a hard game and always try and get back into the game. But look, I think they can be, both teams can be very proud of a point, and I think they can go on really show the big teams in the Premier Division that it's not just only just big clubs that run the League of Ireland. There's also underdog teams that also run it as well. So I'm very proud of both of them. So a point was a very fair result.
At this point, just before we move to the upcoming games, if you were to pick, let's say, the underdog of the season, like where would you put your money on? Would that be Drogheda, Dundalk, Sligo, Bows?
It'll probably be Bohemians because the quality football that they're playing. Drogheda, I think, for me, are also fantastic underdog teams. Sligo, I think I want to see a little bit more from them. Even though Jadakiki is absolutely killing it at the present moment, is starting to come and build on what he left off from last season. But I think if we're talking about League of Ireland underdogs for this new season now, I think it's Bowls for me because the way that Bowls are playing, like they've just strengthened their team with Zane Myers added to their team from Hull, and I think they look like the team that could cause a serious upset to certain teams right now. I'm not saying that Drogda can't do that. Drogda can, especially with the youth academy and the quality that they've been added to their team. But I think every time you look at Bowles now, I think Bowles can really have a fantastic season this year, and I think they will be really really serious underdogs for a European run, finish, or you never know. I think they can go as far to challenge for the League of Ireland title. So because it's a funny football game, League of Ireland, but there's a lot of twists and turns. So I think Bowles for me are the underdogs of the League of Ireland.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Just for the folks who are watching us, myself and Cornell, we typically meet every Monday around this time, 1 p.m. So if you are into legal firearm analysis, understanding comments, controversies, it is the place for you to pay attention to. Subscribe to the channel, share with someone who's into the legal firearm, or share with someone who doesn't know the legal firearm, but perhaps they'll be interested in if they'll know more about it. Let's talk now about the upcoming games. There is one taking place tonight. Actually, I didn't know. I just got to understand that while I was preparing this podcast. It's a game that didn't take place in the first round between Rovers and Dundalk. Any predictions for this match, Cornell?
My predictions for this is going to be a very, very tough game because Dundalk are playing some good football. Olsen Kenny, brilliant player. Horgan, brilliant player as well. There's some brilliant youth in the Dundalk team. Um, as for Shamrock Rovers, they'll be coming with full of confidence against Dundalk, but Dundalk will try and make it very very tough for Shamrock Rovers tonight, and I think they'll be given a very very tough game against Dundalk. So it won't be surprised if it's a draw, but I think with the quality squad that Shamrock Rovers do have now, I think they could put this game to bed. So it wouldn't be surprising if Shamrock Rovers get all 3 points tonight. So I think Shamrock Rovers will win this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think Rovers will win, but won't be easy. The other one it's hard to predict is Drogheda hosting Shells. I can't really know what to say about this because I think everything is at stake. Would you see a favorite here, or it's again a hard take?
It's a very hard take, Victor, because Shells are fantastic of a team, and Drogheda is the fantastic underdogs of the League of Ireland. For me personally, it wouldn't be surprising if Shells obviously I think will be favourites to win this game, but Drogba I think will give everything that they've got as well. So I think if Drogba can play the way that they can play, how they have been playing this season, I think they could cause a serious upset towards Shells. And I think it'd be very interesting to see what team Joey O'Brien puts out for against Drogba, because I think from looking at Kevin Dougherty's ability and his tactics of how he sees this game, I think he would want to go into this game believing that he can win this game. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I think let's not underestimate Shells here. Shells are a fantastic side. We all know how good they are, how fantastic they are. But every time you look at Drogba, It's too difficult to underestimate them. So it wouldn't be surprising if there is a win for Drogda tonight.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be the same. I think Drochte can win. Another one that is, I think it's a lot of pressure, especially for Stephen Keaney, is to beat Dundalk in Dublin on Friday. Will you see that happening, or Dundalk will upset the Pats fans?
This is so difficult to say because Stephen Kenny is under serious pressure now. If he can't get St. Pat's going, then he's going to be in very very serious problems, and his job could be under threat and under serious doubt. I mean, look, St. Pat's have sold their best players, right? And obviously they haven't looked the same. Yes, they've brought Ronan Boyce into it. They've brought Ryan Edmondson into the fold, right? They've brought James Brown into the fold, who is obviously a very good signing there. They've got Zebedee, and obviously certain players are out injured, which is not their fault. But look, this is Stephen Kenny we're talking about here. We're talking about a
Yes.
manager that obviously has won more League of Ireland titles with Dundalk and who's been there and done it. St. Pat's have only won, like eight League of Ireland titles. But look, this game is a massive must win for Stephen Kenny. Stephen Kenny has to win this game. But then the way that Dundalk have been playing this year, they're not to be underestimated. We can't underestimate Dundalk anymore because Dundalk are not the team where you just absolutely cane them and put them to bed. No, this is a different Dundalk team under Kieran, and he's got them playing the best football that he can. And I would not be surprised that Dundalk go into this game and they go on and upset them on Friday and say, "Listen, look, St. Pat's are not at their best. They were at their best against Shamrock Rovers, and they've got certain players that are injured. They brought Max Matter into the fold. We haven't seen Max Matter play yet, so it's another worry. You've got Aidan McKinnon who's there. You've got Zebedee that's playing good. That's also one of the best players in the business. Stephen Kenny's got to put his best team out if he wants to beat Dundalk and he wants to win and to make sure that the fans are still on his side. He has to put his best 11 out. If he can't put his best 11 out, I think there'll be so much doubt about his job, and St. Pat's fans will be asking, well, is he the right man to lead St. Pat's to go on for a European run? Is he the right man to help them finish as high as they can? Those questions will be asked about him. So if they don't win this game against Dundalk, he's in serious troubles. But for me, I just see Dundalk just putting God knows how many goals past them.
Right. Another interesting one, Derry meeting Waterford up in Derry's ground. Would you see Derry collecting the 3 points or any other scenario?
They need the 3 points, Victor. Derry need 3 points. Simple as that. You can't tell me that you're buying these players. You're spending the amount of money. You're the biggest spenders in the League of Ireland, and your players can't gel. I mean, look, Waterford haven't done well themselves too, even though they've bought some good decent players themselves. But you look at Derry and you look at the players they've got in there. They've got an absolute squad depth there, and honestly, it's like to say that I don't know if Lynch doesn't know his starting 11. He doesn't know his best tactics, what to play. You cannot be telling me that and it's not working. It's all right hyping everything up and look, Patrick McLean, very good player. James McLean, obviously, came from Wrexham and come back to Derry after so long. But and Kevin DeSantos and Slevin, Markey, Clark, all these players that Derry have, they should be gelling together. And I've always said that any head coach or manager needs to know their starting 11 and know their best squad. If you don't know your best squad, you are not the right person for the job. And Derry need to go into this game against Waterford. Obviously, Waterford will be hyped up for this game and they'll give everything they've got. But Derry City, I mean, look, they didn't do well on the first. They just about did well against Sligo Rovers, right? They absolutely got eviscerated by Dundalk. despite getting a draw, right? Two draws in their last two, 3 games. That is not great at all. You look at that now and you think they need to get a result. Yes, the season has just already begun, and we can't really write them off of not being favourites for the League of Ireland title. But if this type of football carries on and they don't know their starting 11 and the players are not gelling, then I think the questions will be asked: has Derry City overspent too much? Have they brought in the right players to really get them to play in the football and to be favourites towards Shamrock Rovers' title? All these questions will be asked of Derry. So if they get a win, which I expect them to get a win against Waterford, then fantastic. If they don't get a win, questions has to be asked of the squad, and questions has to be asked of Tien Lynch.
Yeah, then we have a derby between two teams from the west of Ireland, Galway, Sligo. Two squads are trying to find their way. Would you have any expectation to share with us when it comes to this game, or it's totally unpredictable?
It's totally unpredictable against them because both teams are struggling for form. Sligo Rovers, obviously, we always like Sligo Rovers on how they play. They're always the brilliant underdogs. But since Eldin's now gone to Hibs, and obviously Akiki is the only quality player that they got there. Obviously Asu is also good as well, and other players they've got. And losing key players was very, very crucial. Was very cruel towards Sligo Rovers. Then it's making it even difficult. Galway United haven't been the same since Moses Dyer has gone. They haven't replaced him. Right now, they've got Pirate, who obviously played for Drodder and obviously was a cracking player for them. But honestly, I think if they can really start to get some wins under the belt and really show how quality and how brilliant they can be, I think they will be I think they can try and stay up. Look, I do worry about Dundalk, not Dundalk, sorry, Galway United. I do worry about them, and I do kind of think, can they really stay up? Can they really find a way to basically get gelling together? Can they start to get up the table and say, look, they can basically avoid the drop this season, avoid relegation back to the first division, because no one doesn't like to be in the first division. But if you have to go down there, you've got to go down there. And look, I feel both teams are still good. They are still brilliant teams, and they've shown how good they can be. But one team will have to win. But I think this could swing Galway's win way. And I think if Galway can get a win, I think it would be good. I'm not ruling out Sligo Rovers because we can't underestimate them. But I think Galway United will want it more because if you look at Galway United's team, they, as I said, they haven't replaced Moses Dyer. They have now. So if they can gel together, get wins under the belt, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think the home factor will make a difference when it comes to this game. And there's another one that I think it's hard to predict. The Dublin Derby. Both the underdogs are facing the current title owners, Rovers. So, what at stake on this one? Would you share your um, expectation for this one?
Yeah, definitely. We always know Bohemians is always beating Shamrock Rovers on the last time I checked was last season. They beat Shamrock Rovers at the Aviva Stadium, and every time Shamrock Rovers was always hyped up for this game. They always get beat against Bowls because Bowls always have their number. So it'd be very interesting to see how Shamrock Rovers approach this game. Is Stephen Bradley going to put his best 11 out against Bowls because Bowls have been playing some outstanding football and they've been in very, very good form, or are Shamrock Rovers going to slump down once again to Bowls? So these are the type of questions that will be asked of Shamrock Rovers. Do they have what it takes to really stand up to Bohemians and say, look, they've lost against you last season twice, 2, 3 times. Are they willing to take a risk and lose for a fourth consecutive time? I can see this being going Shamrock Rovers' way, but with the way that Bowls are playing, it is very, very difficult to put it past him. But I think as long as Bradley can put out his best 11, I think Shamrock Rovers will do the impossible and beat Bohemians.
Yeah, I would say the same. It's everything can happen, but if I have to put my money on a team, that would be Rovers. Cornell, thank you very much for your insights. Always a great pleasure having
Thank
you
you.
here. Guys that are watching us, make sure to join us next week. As I mentioned previously, we run this show on a weekly basis on Monday around lunchtime, typically 1 in the afternoon. I'll be back in the Emerald. I missed it already. So I'll get back into action in the meantime. Share with someone who is into these sort of topics. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'll be thankful if we can do that. And we'll meet each other very soon. Have a good rest of the week. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks so much for watching. Click here for more episodes, subscribe here to catch the next ones, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section.